Hi everyone, good evening. Guys, can you hear me? Can you all confirm? If I'm audible, visible, everyone, can you all confirm, guys? Yeah, I think we're live. Hi all, good evening, namaskar, sat sri akal, salam alaikum. I hope you're all well, fine, healthy, safe. Good to have you guys. I welcome you all to this amazing session wherein we are going to discuss some awesome strategy and again, easiest ways to get into IITs and not only, the new ones but also the old ones. So I am going to back it up with a lot of data today, right? So it is going to be a very data heavy session and this session is not only important for the ones who are appearing for JEE Advanced 2023 in 15 days, but also it is going to be a special session for the ones who are targeting 2024 and 2025 exams. Yes? Yes. So this is an important session for all the ones who are appearing for 2024 and 25 also. Mainly the focus is on 2023 aspirants, that is 15 days down the line, and what should be the strategy and what marks should they be targeting to get into IIT, and is IIT that tough, right? Right, so this is the question that we are going to answer and we are going to back it up with a lot of data, as I said. So let us get continued, and I'm Abhay Mahajan, done my engineering from IIT Roorkee, been teaching for the last 12 years now. I've produced some amazing ranks in IIT JEE and Olympiads, and two of my students have also represented India in European Girls Mathematics Olympiad. Alright, so yes, so we'll be discussing a lot of interesting things, a lot of interesting data, and our team has worked out on a lot of data and it's turned out a lot of data, and I will be presenting out it to you for, there are a lot of different things and a lot of amazing things, a lot of surprising things coming your way as far as, JEE is concerned. This is my Telegram ID. This is very important, guys. For those of you who want to connect with me over Telegram, you can connect at this Telegram ID and we can discuss anything related to either JEE or strategy or maybe any mathematics related examination like ISI, CMI or Olympiads. You can always discuss that. If you want any ebooks, you can always ask me. Alright, so what are we going to discuss in this particular session? So we are going to majorly cover these 9 points, right? And of course, the first 6 points are going to be covered with data. It is all going to be data. And of course, they're going to be the last 3 points are going to be strategy and what should be different strategy for different aspirants, right? So basically, we are going to start with minimum qualifying marks. So do you know, guys, there are subject cutoff and also the total cutoff. How many of you know about it? And if you know about it, what is the subject cutoff and what was the subject cutoff in 2022? What was the subject of cutoff of mathematics in 2022? What was the subject cutoff mathematics in 2021? If you know about it, just write it on the chat box. So there are subject cutoffs. What are the subject cutoffs? Right. So that is one. The second is going to be ranks versus marks. Right. So how much marks versus how much ranks, can you get typically? So basically this is 3-year analysis data, and 3 year because of course there can be an year where in JEE is too hard and the data can be staggered. So again, I have taken 3 years of data, and of course then we'll be discussing about top 7 IITs branch wise cutoff in marks and ranks, followed by new IITs. What are the CS cutoff? Because CS, a lot of students have a lot of craze in computer science lately, and a lot of them want to get into computer science. So what is the CS cutoff of new IITs and what was the last rank of the new IITs? What should be the marks that you should be targeting? What is the analysis? Of course, so marks is totally dependent on how difficult the paper is. So if the paper is very difficult, of course the marks target would be low, right? So we will be combining these two and studying these two together. And then of course, for 2023 aspirant, these 15 days is very important. What is that you should be doing in these 15 days? And what are the different paper attempting strategies, right? How can you attempt the paper? Should you be doing chemistry first, mathematics later, and then physics, followed by physics, or there is any other strategy? So we'll be discussing 2 major strategies which a lot of students follow, and a lot of my students have been following both of these strategies. I'll be discussing it with you, and they have been able to get super ranks in IIT JEE. And followed by what should be the strategy for 2024 and 2025 aspirants separately. Alright. So let us get started, guys. If you are ready for the session, give me a thumbs up on the chat or also like the session, everyone. right? And of course, you can share this session with the ones who you know are interested in this kind of analysis, because I mean, not this kind of analysis is not there in a lot of channels, right? So you can share this session, like this session, and also give me a thumbs up on the chat so that I can get started with the session. Yes, everyone, give me some energy, guys. Everyone, let us get started. All right, so we'll start with minimum qualifying marks. Minimum qualifying marks to get included in the rank list. So again, IIT takes out a rank list every year, right? So that means you're qualified JEE. You might or might not get a branch in IIT as per your liking, but again, you will be there in the qualifying list. That means you're qualified JEE. You might not take admission in JEE, but you're qualified JEE. A lot of students happen. I mean, there are a lot of students who qualify JEE but don't take admission in IIT JEE because the rank is far away and they don't get a branch or maybe college of their choice, right? But what are the marks, qualifying marks in the last 3 years or last 4 years, right? So basically last 2 years. So common rank list, each qualifying marks was 5 in 2022 and 6 in 2021. That means to get your name in the qualifying list, you have to have 5 marks scored, minimum 5 marks scored in each of physics, chemistry and mathematics. Each of physics, chemistry and mathematics in 22 and 6 marks in 2021. 2022 paper was one of the difficult papers in the recent times. In fact, in the last decade, we can safely say it was one of the toughest exams, and that is why the cutoffs were usually on the lower side. Each cutoff was on the lower side, and it happens because in our times, I remember 2004 paper was also one of the very difficult papers, the paper which I attempted, right? And so this was 2022 paper was one of the most difficult papers, and we can see the data is also going to tell us the same, right? And if we talk about the aggregate, so basically if you have scored 55 marks out of 360 in 2022, you were JEE qualified. 55 marks out of 360, what percentage is this? Can anyone calculate in the chat? What percentage is this? 55 marks out of 360, and 2021, since the paper was relatively on the easy side, the aggregate cutoff was 63. So if you scored 63 or 64 or 65, you were JEE qualified. You might not get a seat in any of the IITs, but JEE qualify would be you could write JEE qualify in front of your resume, right? So 55 marks out of 360 was the cutoff, aggregate cutoff in 22, and 63 was the aggregate cutoff in 2021, right? So of course, this is the other category list. You can all have a look at this, right? Now, rank versus marks. So this is very important, right? This is very important because we all have a certain kind of thing in our mind that I want to score this in this region, or this is what I'm scoring. So if this is what I'm scoring in my coaching and this is what I'm scoring in my mock test, what is the rank that I am expecting, right? So basically this is a very important table, and the sweet spot, what is the sweet spot? The sweet spot is 1500 to 2000 rank, right? So this is the sweet spot, because if you have under 2000 rank, there are a lot of options, and as we will see in the tables today, there are a lot of options that you can have, you can exercise with these ranks. So basically 1 to 100, of course, this is generally in the range 348 to 350. Last year paper was very difficult. So rank 1 was 314 and rank 101 last year was 236. As I told, 2022 paper was one of the toughest papers in the last decades, right? So normally the scores in these are going to be less than what you can see in 2020 and 2021. Although 2020 paper was out of 396, the top rank was 352 and 101, the student who scored 101 rank was 279, right? So this is the data. But what I want you to concentrate on is this, right? What I want you to concentrate on is this table. So this is the kind of marks that you need to score, or better than these marks that you need to score if you want to have a lot of options in IITs, right? So 2000, under 2000, if you're scoring, there are a lot of options, particularly in the old IITs, the old 7 IITs. And again, it is always better to have a lot of options, right? Right. So as you go down, as you go lower, of course, there are going to be options. There are going to be a lot of different options, but again, they are going to start diminishing, right? So this is the target marks that you should be targeting if you are 2023 or 24 or 25 aspirant. I would want everyone to be on this in this range, but again, this is something that you should keep in mind, that I want to score more than this percentage marks. For example, 2021, which was a balanced paper, right? So normally most of the papers are like 2021 papers which come in IIT. This was on the difficult side. This was more or less same, but 2021 was the most balanced paper, right? So exact amount of easy, difficult and the tough questions that they were there, right? So to score in the range 1500 to 2000 rank, so 2000 rank was at 186 and 1500 was 198. So around 200 marks out of 360, if you're able to score, you are in that sweet spot. So around 200 marks, that means 100 marks each paper. 100 marks each paper, on an average 30 marks each subject. So this should be your target. Minimum 30 marks each subject. That means 50%, more or less 50% paper you should be able to attempt to if you want to achieve this rank. Is it possible? Is it possible? Sir, I am not able to do a lot of difficult looking questions. I am so afraid to look at some of the chapters in physics or chemistry or mathematics. Sir, there are certain kind of questions which I'm not able to do. So these are the kind of questions which students normally ask. And again, I am going to back this question. I'm going to answer this question with a lot of data today, right? So let us answer this question. Is it possible to score this many marks? What is the difficult analysis? How much paper is on the difficult side? How much paper is on the easy side? How much paper is on the moderate side? Of course, easy, moderate and tough definition is different from different people. But again, we are going to take the average of all these, right? Right. So this is the target marks that you should be attempting. It should be targeting to get a good rank, decent rank, if you want to have a lot of options with you. 2000 should be your target, under 2000 rank, and under 2000 the marks is around 180 to 200 marks, right? Now, what are the cutoffs of all IITs? So again, the dream college of a lot of students is, IIT Bombay, IIT Madras, IIT Kanpur, IIT Delhi, depending on where you're from, right? So if we talk about IIT Bombay, wherein there is a lot of craze, particularly of computer science. So rank 67 was the last rank which got admission in 2021, and rank 61 was the last rank which got admission in computer science branch of IIT Bombay in 2022. Average marks or marks out of 360 was 280, and this was 397. 280 of course is lesser because this paper was tougher, on the tougher side. And you can have a look at all the other branches here, right? So again, a lot of branches. So these kind of branches keep on moving up and down. For example, BS in Mathematics 2021, it was the last quarter was 1944, and in 2022 it was 2158. So these keep on moving up and down because a lot of in different years, a lot of different branches keep coming up, because last year was this new branch in IIT Roorkee, artificial intelligence, which had a lot of interest from the students. So these branches keep on going up and down, but most of the branches, it is almost the same. You can have a look. Economics 2032, Economics 2107. So these kind of ups and downs are there, but again, they're they're not very major ups and downs. So more or less every year, most of the branches are, in the same range and also in the same marks. So again, you can ignore this because this was one of the difficult papers. Can this be difficult this year? Yes, it can be difficult. But again, the chances are very less, because every decade, there are one or two instances wherein they put in the easy questions, easy papers. For example, in the last decade, 2011 and 2017. 2011 and 2017 were 2 years wherein the paper was very easy. And of course, there were a couple of occasions when the paper was very difficult. In this decade, 2022, one of the toughest. I am not sure how is 2023 going to look like, but again, it is not. I think that it is not going to be as difficult as this. So you have to look at this range, right? Right. So if you talk about IIT Delhi, so computer science closed at 100 rank. In 2022, it closed at 102. So more or less, it is the same. It is the same in all the colleges, and you can have a look at all these branches. But again, I would suggest to look at it after you get a JEE rank, right? So these are the things for IIT Delhi, and IIT Madras is again a very common IIT amongst a lot of people. So computer science ended at 163 in 21. It ended at 175 in 2022. Marks at 175 was 225. Marks at 163 were 272, right? So out of 360. And these are the other branches that you can have a look at. The one thing which I want to tell you in all the three IITs is, if you want to get into IIT Delhi, any branch, you need to score 137 or 110 marks. To get into IIT Bombay, 162, 125 was the marks that you had to. So if you want to get into this, any branch, so again, you don't have to work very hard. I mean, even if you score 125 or more marks, you can actually get into IIT Bombay. Beat any branch, right? So this way, again, IIT Madras, 100 marks. You needed 100 marks in 2022 to get into IIT Madras and 130 in 2021, right? So again, Kanpur 107 marks, 141 marks. Okay, Kanpur is 115 and 93. So 93, less than 100 marks. If you're scoring, you could still get into IIT Kanpur in 2022. IIT Kharagpur, we have 83 marks. As low as 83, you could get IIT Kharagpur and 106 in 2021. IIT Roorkee, again 128 and 100 marks to get into IIT Roorkee. Right, so this was the branch I was talking about, data science and artificial intelligence. This was the branch, I mean, this is my alma mater. So this was the branch which opened last year, and it raised a lot of interest amongst the students last year. And this ended at 177 marks and at 822 rank. Right, so this is one thing. Guwahati, if you want to get admission, I think you can get 108 and 92 marks. 92 marks in 2022 would give you IIT Guwahati, any branch, right? So again, if you want to get into these colleges, which are 7 major IITs, 7 old IITs, you can see that on an average, you need to score around 100 to 125 marks to get into these IITs. The branch may not be, branch of your choice, but again, you can get into these IITs, that is for sure, right? So that might give you a lot of confidence. I'm talking about 100 marks out of 360. 100 marks out of 360, which is not difficult. 100 out of 360 is approximately 25 to 30% paper. 25 to 30% paper, this is 100 marks out of 360, right? And again, 25% paper you can easily attempt, because let us see how much paper is easy. How much paper on an average in an IIT paper is easy. Let us see that, right? If we talk about other IITs, the new IITs, right? So there is a lot of interest of cutoffs. So I've basically written only the computer science cutoff and the last rank. So computer science cutoff in IIT Hyderabad was 608, and the last cutoff, if you wanted to get into IIT Hyderabad, any branch, 9840. IIT BSU 897 was the CS cutoff and 14,300. So even if you're scoring in 14,000, 50,000 rank, you can get into these IITs, right? So IIT Ropat 13,334. 13,034 was the last rank which got metallurgy and materials in IIT Ropat. Gandhinagar 1366, CS closed, and 11,000 would get you materials in IIT. Right, so these are the other IITs, the new IITs, relative new IITs, and these are the cutoffs, and these are the last cutoffs. So basically, a student who has been able to get 16,000 rank has also been able to get a seat in one of the IITs, that is IIT Jammu. Right, so you can see that one is qualifying IIT. Qualifying IIT means around 63, 50 to 60 marks. But one is, can I get a seat in any of the IITs? Be it any branch. Branch may not be your choice. So again, you need to score in the range of 15,000 rank. So if you are scoring in the range of 15,000 rank, you will get a seat in IIT. The branch may not be your choice. But if you want to get into a good IIT, a decent IIT with a decent branch, the sweet spot is 2,000 rank. 2,000 rank means almost 50% paper. 180 to 190 out of 360, 50% paper is what you need to target. But again, even if it is less than 50%, that is in the range of 30 to 40%, you are going to get into good IIT. The branch may not be your choice. Now, what are the target marks? So these are the target marks, right? So if you want to get a branch of CS in all IIT, so this is the marks that you need to score or target. So 55% or to 65%, if you're scoring in an IIT paper, you will get a good branch or maybe a CS branch of your choice in your choice IIT, right? So this is the best thing that can happen, right? However, if you want to get into good IITs and maybe achieve CS branch, so you need to score 45% to 55% marks, category 40 to 45% marks. So if you are scoring in this range, you will get good new IITs with a decent branch, that is CS branch, 45 to 55%. And again, if you want to get any IIT CS branch, 32 to 42%, depending on the paper, level of difficulty. So this is the average, right? So maybe in 2022, this was 32%. Other years, this would be 42%. So if you want to get any IIT CS branch, because CS has, is a hot branch these days, and everyone wants to get computer science these days. So 32% to 42% is what you should be targeting, right? So if you're getting 30% marks, around 32% marks in IIT paper, you can get a computer science branch. That is it, right? Now 32%, is it achievable? Is it achievable, right? Again, these are other IITs and mechanical ENC, right? So these are the percentages, and these are going to keep on decreasing. If I change the branch, if I change to new IITs, this percentage is going to get decreased. But this is what you need to see. Old primary IIT, any branch, if you want to get into old IIT, that is one of those 7 IITs: Bombay, Kharagpur, Kanpur, Roorkee, Guwahati, IIT Delhi, and which one is left? One is left. So these 7 IITs, if you are able to achieve 25 to 30% marks, you will get into these IITs. The branch may not be your choice, but you will get into one. You will be an IITian for life, right? So 25 to 30%, is that difficult to score? Now we need to do some fundamental analysis that is it achievable? How much percentage of questions in these IITs are difficult, in these papers are difficult, and how much is moderate on an average, and how much is difficult? So let us do this difficult analysis, right? So on an average, this is the last 10-year data. Of course, you might disagree with some of the data, because of course, a question may be easy for some people, difficult or moderate for some people. But again, this is the average analysis of a lot of publications that we have used. And 27% paper in IITs on an average in last 10 years is always on the easier side. What does easy mean? Easy means the questions which most of the students are able to attempt and do right. And you should be doing it right. The only thing is, are we able to identify these papers or these questions? If the paper was such that it was given in the ordered way. What is ordered way? Easy questions first, medium questions maybe later, and difficult questions at the end, right? And we know that this level is going to increase. I think everyone would be able to score more or less same marks. The only challenge is to identify these easy questions and do them right. This is the only challenge, because if you are able to identify these 27% marks, and we have seen 27% marks gets you here. 27% marks gets you here. Old IIT, any branch. So if you are able to identify only the easy ones, and do them right and do them accurately, you are IITian for life. So this is the only thing that you need to do. You need to find the easy questions and do the right. Now, what are the easy questions? The easy questions are the questions which are normally, based out of questions which have been asked before. Easy questions are the questions which have, some kind of roots in NCERT textbooks. So again, they would pick up an NCERT question and maybe modify this a little bit, right? Or maybe this question has been asked before. So if a question has been asked before, that is if it's a previous question, it would be categorized as easy question. Or if it is a standard concept, for example, if there is a beggar coin method to be applied directly in a particular question, that would be termed as an easy question, right? So these are the categories. These are easy categories. So if an NCERT question gets modified a bit, that is easy. If it is a previous year question, that is easy. Previous year JEE mains or advanced. If it is a direct application of a common concept. For example, direct application of a beggar coin method, would be an easy question. So these 27% questions on an average in every IIT paper have been easy. 42% medium. So all I need is identify these, maybe do half of these. 27 plus half of this is 21. This is 49, and 49 is a super score. 49% is a score that is going to get you good branches and good IITs, right? So ये तो देखना ही नहीं. This is something which we don't have to see. But again, this is not easy. This is the difficult part. how do we find, how do we see the easy ones? Because they are spread everywhere, right? So that is why I'm going to tell you certain strategies how to attempt those papers. And of course, to identify these papers, you have to do a lot of mock tests. You have to do, particularly in these 15 days, you have to attempt a lot of mock tests, to be able to find out these easy questions, because easy questions are spread in every test, everywhere. The only thing is, are you able to identify them? Are you able to see the difficult ones and have the courage to not do them? You have to say no to difficult ones. You have to identify the easy ones and do them. This is the only thing that you need to do. And if you're able to do that, 50% marks. 50% marks. And this is how a lot of students, they might not be very strong in your coaching centers, right? This happens every year, right? So there are a lot of surprises every year for the coaching centers also, because there are a lot of students who do not do difficult ones, right? They just have a good ability, good knack to find the easy and the moderate ones and attack them first. Gain the confidence, save time on the easy ones, and then use that time to do the difficult ones. And this is what you need to do, guys. This is what you have to do, right? Right. So advanced 22, right? So this was, as I said, this was one of the toughest paper in the last decade. Last decade, this was one of the toughest paper which has come in JEE Advanced. And then this also 34%. 34% of the questions in the toughest paper in the last decade was easy. Easy means if I pick them up and give them in a paper, most of them will be able to solve them. The only reason they're not getting solved in the paper is they're spread. They're spread at different places. And students are not able to find them. Right? So this is what we need to do. So again, getting a rank in IIT is not that difficult. This is the only thing that we need to do. This is the only thing that we need to work upon. Of course, apart from the content. The content is very, very important. Apart from the content, this is one ability that we have to develop. This is one thing that we have to develop in ourselves to, identify the easy ones. So like I said, the most difficult paper of the last decade, and again, there were 34% questions overall, which were on the easier side, right? So even if you could attempt these 34%, last year 34% could get you a good branch in all IITs also, right? So 34% if you are able to score last year, and you were able to get into good IITs, decent branch. Right, so this is last year analysis. I hope this is clear. Now, what is the paper attempting strategy, particularly for the students who are going to write 2023 JEE Advanced? Now, there are two major strategies which a lot of students follow. So, strategy one is attempt chemistry first, followed by physics and maths. Maybe we give 30 to 40 minutes here, 30 to 40 minutes here, around 50 to 55 minutes here, and around 65 to 70 minutes here. So basically, on an average, you save some time in chemistry and give that to physics and particularly maths, because mathematics every year is always on the tougher side. Every year. So every year mathematics is the toughest out of the three subjects. So you save time on chemistry, give that on mathematics. This is round one. Round two, whatever time that you are able to save, maybe 20 to 25 minutes. Then you do the questions randomly. So right, so this is the most conventional strategy which a lot of students follow. And again, a lot of my students' rank have come from this strategy, right? So 30 to 45 minutes in chemistry, saving 25 to 30 minutes on chemistry and putting them majorly on mathematics. And after, doing round one, round two, followed by round two, which is 20 to 25 minutes to attempt or see if you can do any more questions right. Right, so this is the general conventional strategy which a lot of you follow. And I'm very sure a lot of you might be following this. If there anyone who's following this, who's watching this live, or there would be many who would be following this and might not be, seeing it live, but again might see this in the recorded form. But this is one of the most common strategies. The other strategy which a lot of students have started developing and is strategy 2. Strategy 2. Now, strategy 2 is again based on the same fundamental that we were discussing. That is to identify easy ones, easy questions, right? So strategy 2 is take around 1.5 hours to 100 minutes of time, around 100 minutes to pick easy questions, easy, doable looking questions from physics, chemistry and mathematics. So around 100 minutes of time, first 100 minutes to identify easy ones from physics, chemistry and mathematics, and then maybe rest of the 80 minutes in round 2 in difficult looking papers. Difficult looking questions. So this is strategy 2, which a lot of students have been following. A lot of students follow this strategy these days, and again they excel themselves with the students who follow the conventional strategy, right? So what I would recommend is, I mean this strategy is not recommended right now, because if you're following this, I would not recommend to change the strategy right now. But what you can actually do is, in these 15 days, try to attempt at least 5 mock tests, right? So this is one thing. At least, this is at least I'm saying. At least 5. Ideally, you should be attempting a mock every other day. So every other day there should be a mock test. Apart from the last 3 days, there should be no mock. But every other day you should be doing a mock. So there should be ideally 7 to 8 mocks. If you are attempting or doing 7 to 8 mocks and you are following this strategy, I would suggest to at least try this strategy in one of the mocks. Maybe the first one, maybe the next mock, maybe tomorrow. If you are attempting, just try this strategy. Right. So what are easy looking questions? What are easy looking questions? What are doable looking questions? How do I identify them? So first of all, for this, you should be knowing your strengths. You should be knowing your strengths. For example, if I say I am very strong in a concept like permutation combination. So if there is a question on permutation combination, you have to attempt that. If I think I am very good at vectors and 3D, if there's a question on vectors and 3D, pick that, right? So how do you identify those strengths? By attempting mocks and analyzing them. So if you analyze your mocks, and if there is a topic which mostly you have done right, or maybe attempt previous year questions of that particular, for example, vectors and 3D, if I am attempting previous year questions of vectors and 3D, and if I'm doing it right, I'm able to attempt 8 to 9 questions out of 10 of vectors and 3D, that is my strong point. So this is how you identify your strong points in physics, chemistry and mathematics, right? So what are the easy questions for you? Your strong points are the easy questions for you. All the questions which have big lengths. So easy questions means the questions that you can attempt in under 4 minutes. Under 4 minutes. So if you think this is the question which is going to take maybe 5 or maybe 6 or maybe 7 minutes, even if you know that concept, that would be done in the second round, not the first round. So first round means questions which you think you can do in under 4 minutes. And again, by this time you should be having a fair bit of idea about how much time does a question take. And this is very important, guys. Right? So if there's a question, there's a lengthy question, you should know that lengthy question, the reading that question might take 2 to 3 minutes. So all the lengthy questions should be avoided and should be done in the second part, even if those lengthy questions are easy. Because overall, if you're taking 3 to 4 minutes in reading the question and analyzing them, even if the concept is nothing, even if it is a single concept, but reading and analyzing that paper, that particular question is going to take 3 to 4 minutes and maybe 2 minutes to solve. It is going to take 6 minutes. Anything 6 minutes would be the second round. So first round means all the easy looking questions, the questions you can do in under 4 minutes. Right? So this would include a lot of questions of chemistry, particularly the inorganic ones. This would include a lot of simple topics of physics and all of simple topics, your strengths in mathematics. And because what this is going to do is, this is going to lift up your confidence like anything. First 100 minutes, you will be able to solve. If you stick to your strength, you will be able to solve a lot of problems. Maybe, attempt 20 to 25% of the paper in first 100 minutes. So 20 to 25% paper is a big thing, guys. If you're able to attempt 20 to 25 or more than 30% paper in the first 80 minutes, first 100 minutes, I think it is going to lift up a lot of pressure out of you. right? So next 80 minutes, all you have to do is again identify good ones, identify some other or more easy ones, and again solve them. Right, so this is one of the other strategies which a lot of students have been following. And if you don't follow this, do things. So if you are only looking to attempt 2 to 3 mocks, I would, and if you're following this strategy, I would suggest you to stick to this strategy. Don't do that. Only if you are looking to attempt 7 to 8 mock papers in the next 15 days, only in that scenario, I would suggest you to just try this strategy for 1 mock, only for 1 mock. If it works, well and good, you can try it for another mock. If it doesn't work, go back to this. But this is one strategy which is getting famous these days, and last year also, some of my students were able to score under 300 rank with this particular strategy. Got it, everyone? Yes? Super. Right, so this is one. What are the other things that you need to do? Particularly 2023 aspirants. 2023 aspirants, next 15 days. Next 15 days. So 23 aspirants, next 15 days. One is ideal scenario, attempt 7 to 8 mocks. And those mocks ideally should be of different difficulty level. Different difficulty level. So again, they shouldn't be of the same level because it doesn't make sense, right? Because IIT JEE, they have a habit of throwing us a surprise every year. They would throw us a surprise every year. Every year, something is going to change. This year also, do not stick to a pattern. Okay, so this with different patterns. Try to attempt mocks for different patterns. So every year they're going to change something, even though the change is a very minor one. But again, I would suggest you not to stick to a particular pattern because some students have a habit, of sticking to a pattern. Like I will be attempting single choice first, followed by maybe numericals later, maybe passage later. It may happen that passage are not coming at all. It may happen that matrices match are not coming at all. It may happen that single choice questions are not there at all. Right? It may happen. There's a chance, there's a possibility. So do not stick to a pattern. Right? Stick to a strategy, not a pattern. Are you getting this? This is very important. The third thing is you have to analyze your mocks every day. So for example, if you've done a mock today, you need to spend the rest of the time today, 6 hours. After 6 hours, you need to spend the rest of the time in analyzing. So what does analyzing mean? Analyzing means what is your score? What is your score? And what is your potential score? So this is something which I advise to my students a lot. You should always calculate your potential score. What is potential score? Potential score is a score that you could have got, but you did not get. Potential score is a score that you could have got, but you did not get. This is your potential score. So how do you calculate your potential score? So your potential score is this score plus the silly mistakes plus the questions you think you could have done. After seeing solutions. So after seeing the solution, there are two kinds of questions. So one is the questions which we think are out of our league. Even if I knew this, I couldn't have attempted this. Leave those. But there would be certain questions which would make you angry at yourself. Why couldn't I do this? I did this question 3 days back. I did this question 5 days back. I should have done that. Those questions. So this is going to be your potential score. Your score plus your silly mistakes. There will be certain amount of silly mistakes. You might have read the statement wrong. You might have done some calculation wrong. So this plus the questions you could have done after seeing the solutions. This is your potential score. For example, you are scoring 160. You did maybe 15 marks of silly mistakes. Maybe there were 15 marks worth of questions you could have done, and you are very angry at yourself for missing out on these questions. So this is your potential score. Next text, your target should be this. This should be your target in the next test, and try to reach as close to your target as possible. So keep on keep on, raising the bar. Your competition is not with anyone else. Please understand that. Please do not compare yourself with anyone else. Oh, I have done this. He is at this level or she is at that level. I should have beaten him or her. No. No. Your competition is you. You have to improve yourself, because if you focus on improving yourself, I think there's nothing else that you need. There's no amount of, list that you need to see. Just need to ensure that whatever you score in this mock, you need to score up your score in the next mock. That is it. Right? So I hope this is clear. The target is your potential score minus your actual score should be as low as possible. If it is as low as possible, that means that is your best attempt. And your best attempt should be your IIT JEE Advanced. In IIT JEE Advanced, the ideal IIT JEE Advanced paper is when your potential score is as close as to your actual score. That is how you will come out of the examination hall with a smile. There should be a big smile on your faces. And when will this happen? When your potential score is as close to your actual score. Right? So this is what you need to achieve, as simple as that. Right? So avoid your silly mistakes. Avoid these try to do these kind of questions which you could have done, which is going to make you angry if you don't do these questions, right? And this is what you need to improve upon. That is it. Every mock, try to lower this down. Try to bring this to as close to zero. Try to, not get angry at yourself, because there will be no question. I hope this is clear, right? Right. So this is what you need to analyze. Very important, because if you're not analyzing your mocks, it is of no use. It is of no use. Are you getting this? Right. So these are the three things that you need to do. That is it. Do it every day. If you get time, maybe you can follow it up with some previous year questions if you're not done JEE Advanced. If you're not done JEE Advanced, if you get time in between, maybe you can follow it up with previous year questions. And maybe certain questions, certain concepts that you are not able to do, if you think you can improve upon that concept, if there is time, then do that. Or maybe previous year. So these are the things that you need to do in the next 15 days, right? And if you're able to do that in an organized, disciplined way, I think there's no stopping you. The IIT JEE is not far, right? Right. So I hope this is clear. What about 2024 students? Students who are in class 12th right now. Students are in class 12th right now and will be writing JEE Advanced next year. So what should they be doing and what should they be targeting? What should be their overall broader target, right? So first thing, they need to ensure that whatever coachings they're at, the syllabi gets over by October. Syllabus covered, finished by October. This is the maximum I'm saying. This is the maximum limit. Because if ideally should be September, that is the best scenario. But this is the maximum limit. You can push your syllabi, October. So that November and December, you have 2 months of revision. These 2 months, there is a lot of time to revise things. Very important, because see, almost 100 chapters are there. 100 chapters. Around 33 chapters in physics, chemistry, mathematics each. 100 chapters, and we are all human beings. Retention capacity close to 50%, maybe. And 50% is the best retention capacity. Most of us have 30 to 35%. So there are chapters which are studied in class 11th. Right, early chapters of class 11th, for example, maybe basic mathematics, maybe something like, trigonometry, which was studied in class 11th. Something like, permutation combination, something like binomial theorem, which was studied in class 11th. And we have forgotten all these. So if you end up your syllabi by maybe December or maybe mid-January, you're not able to revise those. And if you're not able to revise those, you will not be able to do questions of those in your January attempt of JEE Mains. So it is very important that your syllabi gets finished by October. Ideally, it should be by September, so that you have 3 months of revision. But October, you can manage. November and December, maybe January mid also. Jan mid also. This is the time to revise. Of course, Jan is your JEE Mains. Good. Give a good first attempt. So this is where good first attempt. So it should be that good that there is no pressure to give JEE mains again. Of course, we will be giving them again in April, but again, it should be a good attempt. Good attempt means more than 99%. So again, so that we don't have to worry about getting a seat in NIT. Because if this is a good attempt, I get a lot of time to spend on JEE Advance. If this is a good attempt, I get a lot of time to spend on JEE Advance. So immediately after January attempt, I mean, at least in February mid, I can focus on here. February mid to March. February mid to March, I can give to board exams. And again, April is, although there is JEE mains, but if I have a good JEE mains first attempt, April, May, I can fully focus on JEE Advanced, and this is what is going to make a difference. Because if my focus is on JEE mains even in April, my time to prepare specifically for JEE Advanced reduces. Are you getting this? This is something which we have seen makes a huge difference. A lot of students do opposite. That is, JEE mains first attempt, they just do it just for the sake of doing it. And if you're doing it just for the sake of doing it, you're making it easy for the people who are taking it seriously, because they're not getting enough competition, because this is all relative. Are you understanding this? So if you are attempting just for the sake of giving it, it is becoming easy for the students who are trying to make it the good first attempt, because they have no competition at all. Right? So our students, we always focus to make them a good first attempt JEE main score. Because if this is a good one, it puts off a lot of pressure in the second attempt. Second attempt, at the time of second attempt, when the whole country is focusing on JEE mains, we are focusing on JEE Advanced. And it is a very crucial point, very crucial period for each and every one. Right, so those crucial period is actually a make or break period. So this is a broader strategy that is you need to follow. Of course, there are going to be a lot of other questions, deep questions, which of course we can discuss separately. So I'll be having a separate session for 2024. I will also be doing a separate session for 2025 aspirants. But this is the broader strategy that you should be targeting as of now. What about 2025 aspirants? 2025 aspirants, the students who have just got into class 11th this year. Right. Now, their broader target should be 11th completion by the end of December. Maximum by Jan mid. Maximum by Jan mid, but by end of December. Now, what does this help us with? If you are able to end your December formally, because it is formal, it is never your actual completion of class 11th, it is just the formal, because there are going to be a lot of backlogs, there are going to be a lot of difficulties that you might have started facing already. If you're going to a coaching institute, there are a lot of difficulties that you might have started facing, be it backlog, be it not understanding a particular subject, be it not getting a lot of time to solve a lot of problems. But again, this is the formal syllabi completion, so that in January and February, you are able to complete the backlogs. You're able to solve a lot of questions which you are not able to solve in the class for that particular topic. March, of course, is your school exams. And again, as the same strategy, April to October, class 12th. Right, so class 12 syllabi is one, shorter than the class 11 syllabi, that is why it takes less time. The other is, most of the students are settled now. Right, so class 11th, of course, the syllabi is also bigger, and also you tend to get from class 10th to class 11th, you're quite relaxed, so it takes a lot of time to settle in. But by class 12th, most of the students are already settled. Right, so normally it takes less time to cover the class 12 syllabi also. And again, same thing. November, December, you should be focusing on revision, mainly class 11th revision. Good January attempt, followed by JEE Advanced preparation. Right, so this is the broader strategy. As I told, there would be a lot of finer details moving into this, how to cover this, what are the strategies, what are the things that we need to keep in mind. So again, as I told, I will be taking a separate session for JEE 25 students as well. Yes. So that is it, guys. I hope this is clear to everyone. If there are any questions, which you want me to ask, you can ask me either now or you can put the questions in the comment section. I will definitely answer them. Yes. थंबनेल में 2023 लिखा हुआ है, तो बच्चे 2023 है ही मेन टारगेट था. 2024 to 2025 तो मैंने लास्ट में वैसे ही ऐड किया. सो मेनली इट वाज 2023 स्टूडेंट्स ओनली. यस. Superb, guys. I hope this is clear to everyone and I hope you've enjoyed the session. So if you've enjoyed, first of all, keep liking, also like the session and also share this session with everyone who needs this kind of information. And if you want other such sessions, do let me know in the comment section also. I'll bring other strategy sessions for you also. Take care. Will there be any change in pattern? Revant, we don't know. We don't know. Probably only one person knows about it, the paper setter, maybe Modi ji. Apart from that, no one else knows because this would be clear only on 4th of June. But yes, you should be prepared for certain kind of change. It is not going to be exactly same. There are going to be certain kind of changes, that is for sure. Yes. A subject-wise cutoff is included in both papers. No, it is overall 5. It is overall 5. Overall 5. Thank you, everyone. God bless you. All right, guys. So I hope this is clear and you enjoyed. Take care. God bless you. And I'll keep coming up with these kind of sessions.